Hello, it's Christina, aka Plant-in-Crocs, and as you can see, I am surrounded by a bunch of my plants, and it is because we're doing a repot today. So I have a bunch of plants here that need some TLC, which is going to be me repotting them. It is a mixture of some of the plants that I brought in around a month ago to my collection, and they have been sitting in quarantine, and I have just been inspecting them from day to day to see if there are any pests, and I'm happy to say that there isn't any pests on any of them. That also means that they need a repot, because I have a routine of bringing in a plant, quarantining them for a month, and then I repot them, because I do like to switch the soil to my own DIY mix. I'm just gonna move them away so that I have room for my potting mat. Okay, so I usually don't wash my potting mat. As you can probably tell, it is still a bit dusty with some old soil on here. I only wash it if I'm repotting a plant with pest issues or stuff like that. Otherwise, I only just use it to not make a huge mess. So that is why it is still dirty. I'm just gonna grab a random plant, I think. So this one is my rhipsalis paradoxa major, and I'm just gonna grab it out of the pot. Put this aside, and I am a little curious to see the root system on this plant. This is one of the plants that I brought in a month ago, so I have not seen the root system on this plant, but I am really curious to see them because I am wanting to pot it into this pot, which is a little hanging pot with this little guy on a swing, but it all depends on how big the root system is, of course, because this is a downsizing, but I really hope it will be possible. Okay, so I'm just gonna take the tag out, put that aside, and then I'm just gonna pour this out. Okay. When I repot for the first time after bringing a plant in, I do like to remove as much of the substrate as possible because I do want it to live in my DIY mix. And it also gives me a pretty good idea of how big the root system is when I remove all of the soil. Some of these roots are embedded in some of these wood chips though, so I'm not going to be able to remove all of the soil, but it's fine. So I think this is all I'm able to remove. I did remove this piece. Okay, so we have this one with not that big of a root system, so that's good. This one as well. I'm just gonna put them to the side. This one as well. And then we have this bigger and longer piece with a bigger root system than the other pieces. And then we have this one, which is discolored and it's not mushy, so I think it's fine. And the roots look healthy, so I'm not too concerned about that. But it is a little discolored. And then we have this last piece. So I think from that, it's going to be possible to downsize it. So this substrate I'm not going to be able to use again. So I am just going to put that back in here. This was a really big pot for that plant, like at least that root system. Feels very dramatic to put such a tiny root system in that big of a pot. Oh, sorry if you can hear my dog. Yuki, These are the pots that I'm using. Just some clear nursery pots. And when I measured the size for this pot, it was the 10 centimeter or the 4-inch pot that would fit in here. Oh my gosh, my hands are so dirty. Wait, I'm just gonna wash my hands. Okay, so as I said, to repot this into this pot, I'm going to use the 10 centimeter / 4-inch pot. I think it's gonna work with this root system. We'll have to see. If the pot is too small, I could probably separate some of these arms out, but let's just see. I think it should be okay if I like put them in like this. And this last piece, I think it could work, right? I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna grab my soil mix here. I just have it in a storage bin here next to me. So this is the soil mix. So it is just potting soil, orchid bark, some perlite, and then some activated charcoal. And that is what it's looking like. I'm just gonna put a little bit at the bottom and then carefully put these down here like that. Will that work? Oh, there's a piece that's not even in there. There we go. Now I'm just going to grab some more soil and backfill. So in Denmark, we have this ice cream truck with a bell on it, and it comes like once every 2 weeks. And every time it's here, it's like right outside of our door, and our dog barks at it every time. That is why he is barking right now. I'm just gonna use a chopstick to try and get some of this soil down in the air pockets. Yuki, we have soil covering all of the air pockets now, or filling in all of the air pockets now. I'm just gonna fill this up a little bit more. So there we go. That is the first plant, repotted. Okay, moment of truth. I wanted it to spill out like this, but then when you hang it, it's tilted. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn it so it's spilling out from the side instead. And then I'm just gonna have it like this, but that is super cute. Okay, I'm just gonna put this in the shower because when I've repotted a plant, I like to shower it off from all of the dust and the excess soil that maybe got on some of the leaves, or in this case, the arms. So I'm just gonna put it out in the shower. Okay, next plant we're tackling is the syngonium chiapense variegated. And for this one, I'm not just gonna repot it. I am going to chop it up because, as I mentioned in my plant collection video, I got this in a state that was not like presentable, I guess. It was browning a couple of different places and I've cut that off. So here I only have half a leaf. And some of the leaves were kind of damaged and not looking too great. And also, I do like having syngoniums in a pot with multiple plants in, but I've also seen people grow these on moss poles. So I kind of want to experiment where I'm going to chop this up and root the cuttings up. And then the bottom part here, I'm gonna repot with a moss pole and see how that is gonna turn out. and then I can decide if I wanna grow it with a moss pole or if I wanna grow it with multiple plants in a pot. So let me just grab this off this stake. Oh my gosh. Okay, and I'm just gonna grab this stake out, and it's grabbing the entire plant out. Okay, I guess that's what we're doing. Let me get this stake. Thank you. So I'm just gonna grab my pruners and we're just gonna go ahead and do a chop. So that's chopped. So I can repot this. I'm just gonna put this aside for now and then repot the actual plant. This leaf doesn't really, oh yeah, it has like the tiniest amount of variegation on it. So I'm hoping for variegation. So once again, I'm just gonna get the soil off and check the roots. So these are the roots and they're looking pretty good, and it's a decent root system we've got here. So that's very nice to see. So for the moss poles that I'm gonna be using, it is the, can you even see it? The logo here. It is the, I don't know how to pronounce it. As a Dane, I would say smukhi. It's a shop from Holland or the Netherlands. These ones are clear and they also have buckles. So that's what I'm gonna try out. And I'm using the size small. If I want to do chop and extends at some point, then I have room for 2 of these poles stacked on top of each other, and that is all I have room for on that shelf. So that was the size I went with, and I already assembled this one, as you can probably tell. So a 12.7 with this pole, yeah, that could work. That could definitely work. And then like this, yes, that could definitely work. I currently don't have any moss poles for any of my plants right now, but I used to not too long ago. And I like to assemble the moss pole and then I just fill in a little bit and then try to get around and into the pole with the substrate like that. And then I put the plant in. Just need to see how we are gonna have it turned. So I think I'm gonna put it in like this. Yeah, and then I'm just gonna backfill. Gonna get it into the pole as well. There we go, like that. And then I'm gonna grab my moss. I just have this clear bin with damp moss. So I'm just going to put it in from the top. And then I'm gonna use the chopstick and push it down. I grabbed way too much moss for this. Oops. And I'm just gonna put this aside just for a little bit, because I used to, with my previous moss poles, I had like a dripper for the top of the moss poles, but it was a dripper where I can try and find a picture of it and put it here, but It was a dripper where you had to screw the top off and then fill it and then place it upside down on top of the moss pole, and that meant that you had to bring the plant to the sink every time you had to fill that up. It was not an easy thing to do. Like, I like just being able to do quick and easy plant care things. I need to do that where the plant is sitting. So I looked up some hacks or something else you could do, and a lot of people just have like small little plastic cups sitting on top of the pole, and then you can just go and fill that cup up. So I wanted to try that out, but the thing is, in Denmark you can't just purchase plastic cups in like supermarkets, and like you can't just go to a store and buy plastic cups. So I had to order it online. So I'm just going to open that box and see if it'll fit. These might be too big. It was the smallest size you could get. Oh gosh. Yeah, it's a 250 milliliter cups. I'm just gonna see. They're not gonna fit. That's annoying. What if you open a buckle? That will work. Okay. It just looks really stupid. Or does it? I guess it kind of looks okay from a distance. I am just going to take a small needle and I'm just going to poke some small holes into the bottom of the cup. So I just got this little pin. I think I'm going to do 3 holes. I'm just going to go to the sink and test how much water goes through these holes. I think 3 holes is fine. So we made it work. So maybe it's a good size. Kind of. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see how it works. Okay. Now, because the plant is touching the moss down here, I am just going to open that buckle so that the plant can actually attach itself to the moss. Should I buckle it in? I think I am going to do that. There we go. So now the plant is buckled in. I'm just going to open the next buckle so that the plant has room to grow. This was the syngonium repot with its little pole that I'm using for the first time, and with this cup on top. I'm gonna put this in the shower. Okay, then we have this. And for this, I like to grab a cup. This is just a plastic cup, and I like to propagate in perlite most of the times. And perlite is very dusty, so I'm gonna be careful here. Now I'm just going to cut these pieces off, and then leaf, and then and the top cut, which has a new leaf with pretty variegation, it looks like. I'm gonna see how we're gonna put these in. So I think I'm just gonna fill up with perlite to around there, and then I'm just gonna stick the cuttings in. Like that, and then I'm just gonna fill up with perlite. Oops. There we go. And that is what this looks like. So I'm just gonna fill this up with water to around here maybe, and then I'm just gonna keep topping it off until I see some healthy looking and nice roots, and then we can pot this up in the future. Okay, next plant is the alocasia longiloba purple, and since I showed this in my plant collection video, it has given me a new leaf, but it is green. And I don't know if it's supposed to be green. I would like it to be this purple color, but it's green. I am gonna repot it either way. This one I was gonna put in a 12.7 centimeter pot, which is a 5-inch for those of you who use inches. But I am just going to have a look at the root system before I make the decision. I'm just squeezing it out here. Oh. Oh no. This is such a dense potting soil. I'm just going to try gently to pull this off. Do we have corms? We have corms. Oh, I broke one off. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Oh well, I'm just gonna put that aside. It is such a dense potting soil. Why would you do this? Okay. I think that is it. So it has a nice root system, maybe a little too big for the 12.7. But look, it has so many corms in here. I am going to put this in the 10 centimeter or the 4-inch pot instead. I'm gonna put a little bit more. Yep, there we go. And then backfill. Okay, and then the tag. There we go. So that's the alocasia longiloba purple. And then I have this little corm container where I used to have my mellow albocorm. I am just going to fill that up with some perlite as well. Just a little bit. There we go. And then place the corm in here like that. And then I'm just going to put a little bit more perlite on top to cover the roots a little bit. And then I'm just going to fill it up with water to around here. And then I close the lid and put it in my greenhouse cabinet. Okay, next plant we're tackling is the schlumbergera truncata variegated. And this one doesn't really need a whole lot. It's just drying out very quickly because it is in such a small pot. And when I got it, it almost didn't have any roots, so that is why I put it in this 6 centimeter pot. Now it has been growing and it's drying out really quickly, so I am just going to upgrade it to a 7.6, which is a little bit bigger. It's also a 3-inch, so I'm just going to get this out of the pot. And this is my own potting soil, so I'm okay with using this. Does it have any roots? Oh my gosh, I can't tell. Wait, are there roots in here? Where are the roots? Hello? I'm scared. Oh, there's one here. Okay, I guess this just dries out quickly anyways. I am still going to upgrade it. There we go. Cute. It's a very big tag for a small plant, but yeah, that's just how that is until it sizes up. Next one we're doing is the pinguicula, and I'm not gonna repot this because it's split, so I'm just gonna take the other half and repot into this vessel glass thing. But before I can do that, I need to get some soil for it. So I ordered this from Botanica. which is a European plant shop. I think they're also in the Netherlands. And it is the shop where I buy like special soil mixes, but I also buy, let's see. Yeah. So it's the shop where I get my activated charcoal from for my DIY mix, and I ran out, so I ordered another 5-liter bag of that. But they also make soil mixes, and I ran out of my carnivorous plant soil, so I just ordered another bag of that as well. So that is what we're going to be using for the pinguicula. It is the same shop where I order my fertilizer from, and I really like that shop. So not an ad, just go check them out. I do like to plant my pinguiculas with a little pebble bottom. I use aquarium gravel. It's smaller pebbles, and I like the size of this for my pinguiculas, so that's what I usually buy. So as I mentioned, I just like to keep like a little bottom layer. So I'm just gonna grab this soil mix and pop in here. So this is what it's looking like. It looks a little weird, but I'm hoping if it splits or if it grows some babies, it will look a little cuter. So now I'm just gonna take the other pinguicula and I'm just gonna grab it out of here like that. And I'm just gonna grab some of these, because it looks like this. I'm just gonna grab some of the dead leaves from the bottom here. I think that is good, so I'm just going to make a little hole here for it, or a little dent, I guess. I'm just gonna place it on top of that, press it down while I squish in some soil from the sides. There we go. Yeah, I think it looks really cute. So I'm just gonna put some water in here. I think I water my pinguicula like once every 2 days maybe, to make sure that it's moist. The other pinguicula, I'm just gonna, now that I have access to some of the dead leaves, I'm just going to grab them out from under it, and then I'm just going to cover this part where I took the other part from. So yeah, this is not centered anymore, but it is probably going to split again at some point, so it's fine. So that was the pinguicula. Now I'm dreading this, but I have 2 more plants that I'm gonna put on poles, so I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get it over with. So let's grab this one. This is the philodendron patriciae. I'm just gonna grab the tag, and then I should grab it out of its pot. And it has this little support. I'm not gonna use that. Well, I'm not gonna use it anymore because it's made out of wood, and as you can see, it's starting to mold. Don't recommend the wooden stakes. I'm just gonna grab this out of its pot. This is also a pretty dense potting mix. Ooh, but it looks like a much better root system, so that is very nice. I'm just gonna loosen up this soil. I feel like it's been a while since I watered these, and they're still like wet. That is why I love a chunky soil mix, because then I know that my plants are not just sitting in water forever. I'm just gonna try and get as much soil off as possible, and I think this is fine. I don't think I can get any more off. So putting this aside, and removing this soil here. I'm just gonna check because I do have the 15 centimeter or the 12.7, but I think I should use the 15 because I think I'm gonna use the 12.7 for the clypeolata, maybe a 12.7 for the ghost. So yeah, I think I have to use the 15 centimeter for this one, or the 6-inch. So let's go ahead and grab that, and then I'm gonna grab another pole. And when you get the poles, they're not assembled, they come like this, and this is probably the most satisfying part, is to peel off the plastic. Okay, and then I'm just going to bend this. Wait, how is it supposed to bend? It's supposed to bend this way. Oh yeah, our washer is going as well. So if you can hear that, it's just the washer. Bended both sides. Now I just have to buckle them. There we go. And then we have another pole. So once again, I'm just gonna take a look at this, and how are we gonna place this? It just put out this new leaf here that is gonna unfurl. I'm just gonna face it this way. Yeah, that is the plan. Okay, I'll put this aside again, and we're gonna fill up with some soil. And where did I put the chopstick? Right there. What is this? Is that bark? I think it is. That's a huge piece of bark. It almost looks like a rock. I'm not gonna use that. Let's put the plant in. Yuki? Tistilla? Actually, this lower leaf I'm just gonna break off because it's just gonna be in the soil. So Yuki! Yuki! Det er isbilen.
Vil du godt stoppe? Isbilen er sgu da på den kørt.
Den er lige kørt forbi igen. There we go. And now I just need the moss. And we're just gonna fill it up with moss. Just gonna grab a little bit more for the top here. There we go. Then I'm just going to grab another one of these plastic cups and poke some holes in there. There we go. And then we're just gonna open the top buckle and place the cup in like that. And then I'm just going to open some buckles down here and strap the plant in, so it's actually gripping onto the moss and hopefully gonna make some roots. Oops, I broke something off the plant. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, so this is the philodendron patriciae with a pole, and I'm just gonna put the tag in here at the back and put it in the shower. Okay, next plant is the philodendron Florida ghost. This one is also going on a pole, so strap in. So I'm gonna take the tag out and then get the plant out of here. Come on. Once again, such a dense potting soil. Like, what do you mean? Why would you put a plant in this? There's like nothing but soil in here, not even perlite. I'm just gonna try and get this off as much as possible, at least. This has a nice long root system here. Like, this is looking really good, even though it was in this awful potting soil. So I'm just gonna put that aside, and we're gonna prepare the pot and the pole. Are we grabbing a 15 or a 12.7? I'll check to see which one fits the best, I guess. Because, like, this is the difference. So this is the 12.7 centimeter or the 5 inch, and this is the 15 centimeter or 6 inch. So it is quite the difference, and I'm gonna assemble the pole and we'll test to see which one is gonna be the best. So once again, grabbing a new pole. Okay, another pole assembled, and then we're just gonna check which pot size this is gonna go into. I think I'm just gonna take some of these dead pieces or dried off pieces, just to clean it up a bit. The leaves are facing this way and the aerial root is facing that way, so this is easy to see which way the plant is supposed to go. So like this. Is this a good pot size? I'm gonna try the bigger one just to see. I think I want to do the 15 centimeter for this one. Yeah, we're gonna do the 6 inch. And then I'm gonna put the pole in here, and oh, I can't get to my soil because the moss bin is on top of the soil bin. There we go. I'm gonna try that again. I think I'm gonna break off the lower leaves because they're just gonna be sitting too low for it to make sense. So, okay. I think we are gonna do this. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep the plant in place, and then I'm just gonna fill the pot up. Yeah, this is gonna work really well, I think. Okay, this is what we're looking like currently. So obviously the leaves are pointing upwards right now, but they are gonna go down once they settle in here. So now I just need to fill up with moss. Okay, and then I just need to unbuckle this one because there's a new leaf coming in. My battery is almost dead, so I'm gonna quickly poke some holes into this cup, put it on top of the pole, and I'm gonna take a little break, and then we'll get to the rest of the plants. Okay, there we go. Gonna unbuckle this, put the cup in here, put the tag in, and this is how the philodendron Florida ghost looks like. Well, how it turned out, I guess. So I'm gonna put this in the shower and I'm gonna take a quick break. Okay, I am back. We only have 3 plants left, so the next one is this alocasia clypeolata. So I'm just gonna go ahead and take it out of its pot. Oh, that was wet. Oops. Well, then I'm just gonna... This is wet. Oh my gosh. Oh. Oh no. All right, I'm gonna set that aside because we got root rot. Oh gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna scoop this back into here. And again, it's just like, at least there was perlite in this. Oh, the sun is... Okay, the lighting isn't great. Just a second. Oh, never mind. It went away again. I'll just continue. So, more just broke off. Oh no. It still has a bunch of healthy roots, so that's good to see, but it definitely lost a lot. And there are some mushy roots in here that I'm just gonna get off. So, bad thing, it got root rot. Good thing is it grew out some new healthy roots at the same time. So it still has a root system, but it's definitely a lot smaller now. Oh, there's a corm. Okay, I'm gonna put that in with the longiloba corm that we got. Let me put it somewhere so that I can remember it. Let's put it with my rings. Then hopefully I won't forget it. Oh, there's another corm. Oh my gosh. And this one has roots. Maybe I should do a separate thing for these corms then. I think I'm gonna do that. Do we have any more corms? I don't think so. I am gonna... Oh, never mind. There was one more. So we got 3 corms. I don't think I'm gonna look for any more. It's just a disgusting mess. I'm definitely washing the potting mat this time. And I just grabbed the perlite again because I do not want to forget these corms. So I'm just gonna pour some perlite in here. And then we're just gonna place these in here. That way it's probably also gonna be easier for me to remember that these are the clypeolatas and the lonely one is just the longiloba. These are the corms. I think I'm just gonna put some saran wrap on top. Then I'm just gonna put them in the cabinet and they're just gonna do their own thing. Oh, the sun is back. Wait. It's not gonna... Yeah. Corms are in the cabinet and we have this one to pot up. And this was not in the cards. So let's see what size we're gonna give this one. We should probably do a 10 centimeter / 4 inch because it doesn't really have any roots now. So I think I am gonna do that. Yeah, so like that, because it's so sad. Like, this is also the annoying thing of bringing in new plants in these kinds of potting soils, because I know my own potting soil pretty well and I know when a plant needs water when I look at my own plant soil. But when I look at all of these different types of potting soils from other shops, I cannot tell when they need water. And then sometimes I underwater, sometimes I overwater. And the worst thing is definitely to overwater, in my opinion, because sometimes when I underwater, I can revive some of the roots by watering it again. But when you've overwatered and the roots have rotted from overwatering, there's just no going back. You cannot save those roots. It's a problem. And maybe I should just, when I bring in a new plant, I should just repot it immediately. I've just always repotted them after like a month. Maybe I should just start doing something else, because It's not the first time this has happened to me after bringing in a new plant. I'm gonna put it like this and then backfill. I'm just gonna top it up a little bit more. That is the alocasia clypeolata. So I'm just gonna put the tag in here. Hey Yuki, gonna bring that to the shower. So the next one we're doing is the coleus scutellarioides, which is, if you saw my plant collection video, this one is in the tiniest pot I've ever potted anything into. And this is a plant that means so much to me because I got this from the person that I was sharing an office with at my last internship. And she had this plant in her window by her desk. On my last day at the internship, she gave me a cutting of this plant. And it's such a gorgeous velvety coleus, and it's like this dark burgundy kind of color with the pink by the vein. So it's just so pretty, and when I got it, it was like up to here, I think, maybe even smaller than that. So that's why I decided to pot it into this tiny pot. But I am constantly watering this plant, so it definitely needs a up pot. I'm just gonna go ahead and try to squeeze it out of here because I can also see like it has so many roots in here, and it's just okay, that's insane. Look at these roots. Oh my gosh. And I'm not gonna pick this apart because it is in my own DIY mix. Now I just have to decide, because I do have some 6cm pots, which I'm guessing is, because the 7.6 is 3 inch, so I'm guessing 6cm is 2 inches, but it's these ones. And I just feel like, yeah, that's not gonna be the biggest up pot, if you can see that. So I might go ahead and pot it into a 3 inch instead. Let me just grab one of these and see if this is better. Yeah, I think this is gonna be much better for this plant. We're just gonna do that. And I'm just gonna fill up this pot to here, maybe? Yeah. Like that. And then we're just gonna backfill. Is it centered? I think it's okay. Just gonna fill it up a bit more. I think that is good. Okay, it's not at all centered. It's fine. That's the coleus. Repot it, and I'm just gonna get the tag. Once again, a very big tag for a very small plant, but the leaves will make up for it. They're kind of covering it, so it's fine. I'm gonna bring this to the shower, and then we are on to the last plant that we're gonna repot today, and that is the Hoya polyneura outer variegated, right? Yeah. Hoya polyneura outer variegated. I think since I last showed it, did it have these leaves? I don't remember, but the newest leaves it gave me has more variegation on it than any of the other ones. So that's really gorgeous, and it's giving me a new pair of leaves at the end as well. And this one I'm repotting because obviously it has grown quite a lot since I got it, but it is also drying out way too fast. So I do want to put it in something bigger. So I'm just gonna grab it out of here. Oh, there we go. And as you can see, we have some nice healthy roots. This one I'm just sizing up to a 3 inch, so a 7.6 centimeter. and it was in a 6 centimeter before. Just gonna fill up the bottom of the pot here. For these smaller repots, I should really have a smaller scoop than this. So I'm just gonna fill up around the root ball here. Oh, I'm gonna need the chopstick. And then we're just gonna backfill again. I think that was it. The Hoya polyneura outer variegated is repotted. I have the tag right here. So I'm just gonna put that at the back. Once again, this is gonna look stupid. Gonna bring this to the shower as well, and this time you're coming with me. Welcome to the shower. These are all the plants that we repotted, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start washing them and watering them through. So actually I am just gonna move some of them out of the shower so that I can have a better overview. Oh my gosh, wait. Look at the longiloba. It's so sad now. Oh, I hope it's gonna perk up again. Oh my gosh. That is so sad looking. I'll just start with a few at a time. Let's start with the patriciae. This one with the perlite, I'm just gonna carefully wash the leaves from an angle so I don't just put in a bunch of water into the perlite. And now I'm gonna fill up the container. Okay, next plant, this sad looking longiloba. So this is the result. So we were potted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 plants, and we found some corms and we putted up the syngonium cuttings. I would say that's a success. We definitely got a lot done, and now I'm just gonna clean everything up, and then I'm gonna find some new cover pots and some new spots for the plants to sit in. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoyed repotting with me. And yeah, I hope maybe you had this on in the background, maybe did some repotting yourself, and I hope you will consider subscribing if you like this video. And yeah, I'm just gonna wish you an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!